Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Star Wars Battlefront video. I know you haven't heard me say that in quite a long time. It was back in April when all support for the game was cut off, and that was our last update. The Battle of Scarif was given to us. But there are a few little bits of information that have come out quite recently, one of which could be a hint to Battlefront 3, and another one that is clearly not hiding the fact that there are many Star Wars projects coming, including video games. But to start off with the smallest bit of information, and the one that absolutely does not lead into Battlefront 3 at all unless you look at it really at a stretch, and that is purely because some Battlefront 2 voice actors have recently been doing some motion capture and voice acting together, but the only reason that this post even mentions for a Battlefront 3 or for Inferno Squad content is because it's being posted on the Star Wars Battlefront thread. In reality, if you took all of the Star Wars specifics out of there, all it means is that two voice actors that previously worked on a project together are working on another project together. There is no specifics that Battlefront 3 is the second project they're working on. So this is just a good for them sort of moment and a post, but it's absolutely nothing to do with Battlefront 3 unless it turns out that in 6 months' time or in a couple years' time, a Battlefront 3 gets announced with Inferno Squad in it, and then we could say, oh, after all this time, maybe that was what they were working on. But even then, this is probably something completely unrelated. Next up, for anyone watching this video who doesn't own Battlefront 2, or at least doesn't own it on PC, Battlefront 2 and the Celebration Edition, which means it includes all of the skins that were added to the game post-launch, except for the Old Master Maul skin, for which you have to complete a milestone, and the Hooded Rey skin, which you need to complete an Easter egg hunt to earn that skin. And if you want to know how to do that, I've made a video on it before, so I'll just put a little info card up the top of the screen now if you want to go unlock that skin. But yes, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is coming for free to the Epic Games Store this Thursday, which is January 14th, and you have a full week until January 21st to redeem that game, and then it will be in your library forever. So if you are interested in that, make sure you go and download it as soon as possible, anytime from Thursday. But now the Battlefront 3 possible tease. It was initially just in response to a tweet saying that Battlefront 2 was coming to the Epic Games Store, and Peter Vestry replied to that, who is a studio level designer at DICE. He simply replied to that saying that he'd heard good things about the game. Christian Johansson, who is the lead game designer at DICE, he then also replied with another Han Solo meme, and then Ryan Goffett responded talking about Battlefront 3, trying to tease them into saying something. There was absolutely no hiding it. And Peter Vestry then replied with a little gif of a guy just counting 2, 3 and emphasising the third count, which absolutely should not be taken as Battlefront 3 is being confirmed. It just seems like game designers having some fun, but also if Battlefront 3 is absolutely not happening and they've been in meetings where they've talked about the fact that Battlefront 3 won't happen, it's a massive dick move for them to still be joking about it when it hasn't been officially stated to the public that Battlefront 3 is not happening. If they still make little jokes like this about it and everyone's still so excited for the game and they know it's not happening, then it's just rude on their part. But this does not mean a game is going to get announced soon, but I would absolutely take this as a positive that Battlefront 3 is more likely to actually be happening, because we've heard absolute radio silence on it since Battlefront 2 support was cut. But then Matt Martin, who describes himself on Twitter as a Lucasfilm story person, and so is clearly someone behind the scenes at Lucasfilm who has some knowledge on these situations, has made a couple of tweets that are very interesting for Star Wars fans, and especially for fans of Star Wars video games. Most recently, he said that he can't give any information about something that's not already announced, so you're not going to get any specifics after harassing him on Twitter or anything like that. But he did say back in December, after the Disney Investor Day, where they revealed all of those Marvel TV shows and films, and all of the Star Wars TV shows and films and projects that they were going to be working on, that was only the fraction of the overall Star Wars storytelling going on, which is of course what he deals with. He then talks about VR, Disney parks, the High Republic coming next month, but he also mentions video games. And the only one that we really know to be happening is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2. The game sets up for a sequel, and it was a massive success for EA financially, which has probably taken them by surprise since it was a single player only Star Wars story. But other than Jedi Fallen Order 2, there are no games that we could even start to suspect are happening. My hope and my dream is that a Star Wars RPG is going to happen, Knights of the Old Republic style, which I actually made in one of my predictions for 2021, which is the last video I uploaded, so I'll put a link to that as well. But this is confirming that there are multiple video games coming for Star Wars in the future. I don't even want to say near future, but at least in the future there is more Star Wars stuff coming. And he even said that he hasn't been this excited for the future of Star Wars gaming in a long time, which if there are multiple projects, say Battlefront 3 is happening, say that Jedi Fallen Order 2 is happening, and there's another project coming out in the next few years, then it's completely understandable, because before that, there was The Force Unleashed 2 came out kind of on its own, and then you had Battlefront 2015 coming out on its own with no other games around it. Then obviously Battlefront 2 and Squadrons and Jedi Fallen Order all came out quite spaced apart. They weren't announced and overlapping each other much at all. Whereas if now they've set out a long-term future plan roadmap for Star Wars gaming, it's completely understandable why he would be so excited. But that is all for this video. It does seem now more likely that Battlefront 3 will actually be happening, but don't expect any news, any sort of teasers until EA Play at the absolute earliest, which happens in June. There they may not even announce Battlefront 3 because there will be a Battlefield 6 showcase. They need to reveal the next gen capabilities of the game. And since all of DICE is working on that game currently, it would actually be quite a big surprise to see Battlefront 3 announced alongside it, even just in a concept trailer or a cinematic trailer. But let me know what you think down below. Do you want to see a Battlefront 3? If your answer is no, what is wrong with you? There is so much content that's still yet to come out for the game that we need to see, and there are other Star Wars projects that are yet to be announced that are so exciting and I cannot wait to hear more about. So thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, and hopefully I will see you next time.